Welcome everyone to Have More Babies. Today we're getting into a topic that, well, it comes up for so many new parents and can feel a little mysterious, maybe even a bit worrying. We're talking about bilirubin. It's this yellow compound, and understanding it is really pretty key in those first few days and weeks of your baby's life. We've looked at some really clear, helpful information from Omega Pediatrics, breaking down what it is, why it matters, and maybe most importantly, what you need to watch out for. Our goal here today is just to cut through any confusion, give you the essential info you need so you feel, informed and more confident.
That's exactly right. We're going to unpack why this total normal body compound becomes such a focus for newborns.
Yeah. Right.
And we'll talk about the steps that healthcare providers and parents can take to manage it effectively so you
Yeah.
feel prepared, hopefully not panicked.
Okay, yeah, let's definitely unpack that. So bilirubin, it's a word you hear maybe from the pediatrician right after birth, and it sounds so clinical. What is it really? And why is it suddenly such a big deal for a tiny newborn?
That's a great place to start. So at its core, bilirubin is just a yellow pigment. It's naturally produced in the body all the time. It happens when red blood cells, specifically the older damaged ones, break down. It's a totally normal recycling process.
Okay, a byproduct of breaking down old cells. Makes sense.
Exactly. Now, normally, in older kids or adults, the liver does a fantastic job. It grabs this bilirubin, processes it, changes it a bit so it becomes water-soluble. And then your body can easily get rid of it, mostly, through poop.
Right.
It's a really efficient system. But here's the thing with newborns, and this is key. Their liver isn't quite mature yet. It's still getting up to speed, you could say.
Ah, okay, like it's still booting up.
Kind of, yeah. It just can't process that bilirubin quite as quickly or efficiently as it will later on. So you get this temporary imbalance. The baby's making bilirubin at a normal rate, but the liver's removal process is lagging a little behind. And this little adjustment period is why bilirubin levels can rise in newborns and why we pay attention to it.
Got it. So that temporary buildup, the liver playing catch up, that's what we see as jaundice.
Precisely. Newborn jaundice is basically the visible sign of those elevated bilirubin levels. You'll notice the baby's skin and sometimes the whites of their eyes taking on a kind of yellowish tint.
Okay.
And it's incredibly common. We're talking about roughly 60% of full-term newborns showing some signs of it.
60%. Wow, that is common.
It really is. And here's the important part for parents. In the vast, vast majority of cases, it's completely harmless. It usually resolves all on its own as that liver matures.
That's hugely reassuring. I think hearing that number 60% and knowing it's usually okay helps ease that initial worry.
Definitely.
Yep.
So the message isn't don't worry, it's more don't panic, but do pay attention.
Right. So if it's that common, what are the specific things parents should be looking out for? What tells them, okay, maybe we should mention this at the next checkup?
Well, the most obvious sign is that yellow color in the skin. And interestingly, it often follows a pattern. It usually starts at the head, like on the face or scalp.
And then if the bilirubin levels keep going up, you might see it spread downwards to the chest, the tummy, maybe even the arms and legs.
Yeah, that head-to-toe progression is pretty typical.
And the yellowing in the whites of the eyes can also be quite noticeable, sometimes even before the skin looks very yellow.
Absolutely. And beyond just the color, there's some behavioral things to keep an eye on too. Like, is your baby significantly sleepier than you'd expect? Harder to wake up for feedings, or just seems really lethargic?
Okay, more than just typical newborn sleepy.
Right. And also, poor feeding. If the baby's not latching well, not interested in eating, or not feeding effectively, that can sometimes be linked. Knowing these signs, both the visual yellowing and the behavioral changes, is just really helpful for catching things early if needed.
So say a parent notices some yellowing, maybe the baby is extra sleepy. What happens next? What's the diagnostic process like at the doctor's office?
It's usually pretty straightforward and generally not too invasive. Often the first step is a simple skin test. They use a small handheld device, looks a bit like a thermometer gun. Place it gently on the baby's skin, usually the forehead or chest, and it gives an estimated bilirubin level. Totally painless.
That sounds easy enough.
It really is.
Yeah.
Now, if that screening test shows a potentially high level, or if there are other concerns, they'll likely recommend a blood test. That involves a small heel prick to get a tiny blood sample, and that gives a much more precise bilirubin measurement.
Got it. Skin test first, possibly a blood test for confirmation.
Exactly. And this really highlights why those first few checkups after birth, usually within days, are so crucial. They aren't just general wellness checks. The doctor is specifically looking for jaundice, monitoring those bilirubin levels and making sure things are progressing normally. It catches potential issues early,
Right, peace of mind checks, really.
for sure. And like we said, most of the time, jaundice just fades away on its own as the baby's liver gets more efficient. No special treatment needed.
Which is great news. But what about when the levels are a bit high and the doctor wants to intervene? What are the options then?
Well, sometimes simple, non-medical steps are enough. One of the big ones is actually just encouraging more frequent feeding.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're breastfeeding or formula feeding, getting more milk into the baby helps them produce more wet and dirty diapers.
Right, helps flush the system.
Exactly. It helps move that bilirubin out of the body through their stool. So feed often is often the first advice.
Absolutely. And if the levels are high enough to need medical treatment, the most common approach by far is phototherapy.
That's the special lights, right?
That's the one. The baby is placed under special lights, usually blue or sometimes green light, wearing just a diaper and eye protection. This light works in a really cool way. It actually changes the structure of the bilirubin in the baby's skin, converting it into a form that the body can excrete much more easily, even without the liver fully processing it.
Wow, that's clever. Using light to help the body bypass the bottleneck. Precisely. It's very gentle, very effective, and usually done in the hospital, though sometimes milder cases can use special blankets at home.
Okay.
Now, in rare situations where bilirubin levels are very high or rising very quickly, posing a risk, then yes, a short hospital stay might be necessary for more intensive phototherapy and close monitoring.
Yeah.
But that's less common.
Good to know the range of options.
So maybe we can just circle back quickly to why this happens. We know bilirubin comes from red blood cell breakdown,
Right.
and the newborn liver is slow. But are there specific things that might make a baby more likely to have higher levels, more noticeable jaundice?
Yeah, there are a few known risk factors. Premature babies, for instance. Their livers are even less developed, so they often struggle more with processing bilirubin.
That makes sense. The earlier they're born, the less ready the liver is. Exactly. Another one is blood type incompatibility between the mother and baby. Like if mom is type O and baby is type A or B, or if there's an Rh factor difference, this can sometimes cause the baby's red blood cells to break down faster than usual right after birth, leading to more bilirubin production.
Ah, okay, so the system gets overloaded from the start.
Potentially, yeah. And difficulties with breastfeeding in the early days can also play a role. If the baby isn't getting enough milk initially, they might not stool as often, which means they're not clearing the bilirubin as effectively. This is sometimes called breastfeeding jaundice, distinct from breast milk jaundice, which can appear later.
So many factors involved. It really sounds like something parents need support navigating, especially when they're already dealing with a newborn.
Absolutely. And that's where open communication with your healthcare team is just paramount. Don't hesitate to ask questions. Make sure you understand why a test is being done, what the results mean, what the treatment options are, and the reasoning behind any recommendations. Feeling informed is key.
Totally agree. And beyond the medical side, just the emotional support parents provide is huge, right? Staying calm, being present for your baby.
Immense. It can be stressful seeing your baby undergo tests or treatment, even something as gentle as phototherapy. This is where focusing on bonding through care really helps. Keep up those comforting routines, lots of skin-to-skin contact, gentle holding, soothing talk. It provides security for the baby, of course, but it also helps you feel connected and less anxious during a potentially worrying time.
That skin to skin is so powerful for so many reasons.
This truly is.
And it really reinforces that idea of partnering with healthcare professionals. It's not just them telling you what to do. It's a collaboration. You bring your knowledge of your baby, your instincts, your questions. They bring the medical expertise. Together, you create the best care plan.
Couldn't have said it better. Feeling empowered and involved makes a huge difference in how parents experience this.
So looking long term, what's the outlook for babies who've had jaundice?
The outlook is overwhelmingly positive. For the vast, vast majority of infants, like we've said, jaundice is temporary. It's a passing phase with no lasting effects whatsoever.
That's the main takeaway, really.
It is. However, and this is an important however we monitor it, because extremely high, untreated bilirubin levels can, in rare cases, cause a type of brain damage called kernicterus. This is why vigilance, early detection, and timely treatment if needed are so critical. We treat it effectively to prevent that rare but serious outcome.
Right. So the monitoring isn't just routine, it's a crucial safety net.
Exactly, which leads into post-jaundice monitoring.
Even after the yellowing fades, those regular pediatric checkups are still important. The doctor will continue to monitor your baby's growth and development, ensuring they're hitting their milestones and just generally thriving. It provides ongoing reassurance. And as parents, you can focus on supporting that development. Things like encouraging tummy time to build strength, watching for those first social smiles, seeing them start to grasp objects. Fostering that supportive environment helps ensure they meet all those exciting developmental milestones right on track.
Absolutely. And what's really interesting is how much knowledge itself can empower parents through this. Staying informed, whether it's reading reliable info online, maybe joining a parent support group, or using materials from your doctor's office, it really helps demystify things and reduce anxiety.
It replaces fear with facts, essentially.
Well put. And that leads directly to advocacy for your child.
Because you know your baby best, being attuned to their subtle cues, noticing if something seems off, trusting your gut.
Hmm.
Seeking medical advice promptly when you have concerns, and actively participating in decisions about their care. That's powerful advocacy. It ensures your baby gets the individualized attention they need.
It really does. You are their #1 advocate.
So wrapping this up, we've covered a lot, from the basic science of bilirubin to why newborns are susceptible, to the signs, treatments, and the importance of parental involvement. It's kind of amazing how understanding this one little compound can actually bring a lot of peace of mind during a potentially stressful time.
Indeed. Welcoming a new baby is a journey full of questions. But when you're armed with good information about common things like jaundice, and you know what support is available, you really can navigate it all with much more confidence.
So, as you think about all the incredible, complex things happening inside a newborn, maybe reflect on this. How does understanding something seemingly simple, like bilirubin, highlight both the amazing design of the human body and the crucial role of just paying close attention as a parent in those early days? And what other minor health details might be really important for new parents to be aware of? Lots to think about. If you're a parent or expecting soon and you have more questions about bilirubin, jaundice, or any aspect of your child's health, we really encourage you to visit omegapediatrics.com. You can find a wealth of information there, resources, and even book an appointment if you need one. Again, that's omegapediatrics.com.
It's a great resource.
And if you found our discussion today helpful, please do give it a like, subscribe to our channel for more conversations like this, and definitely share it with any other parents or parents-to-be you know who might benefit from this information. Thanks so much for joining us on Have More Babies.
Goodbye for now, everyone.